Welcome. Today we're diving into something really special, a sequence of 5 ancient poems from the Book of Psalms. We're going to see how they fit together to tell one single powerful story about what it means to praise, how that shapes our character, and where we ultimately place our trust.
So, what can a bunch of ancient poems really teach us about living a meaningful life today? Well, it turns out, quite a lot. The answers are hiding in plain sight in a series of psalms that have been at the very heart of worship and celebration for thousands of years.
Now, this is really important. You've got to understand that these aren't just 5 random songs thrown together. They're actually designed to be a connected series, a journey where each psalm builds on the one before it. It's no surprise they were often sung during Passover, which is all about celebrating deliverance, a theme that's absolutely central to this story.
So, here's our roadmap. We'll start with the foundation of praise in Psalm 111, move through what righteousness looks like, see how creation itself responds, and land on the ultimate decision of trust in Psalm 115. All right, let's dive in.
Our journey starts with Psalm 111, and this chapter isn't just about, feeling thankful. It's like a systematic breakdown of why God is worthy of our praise in the first place, focusing completely on who He is and what He's done.
And check this out. Structurally, this psalm is a total masterpiece. It's an acrostic poem. That means each line starts with the next letter of the Hebrew alphabet. It's kind of like the poet is making a list of God's attributes from A to Z, making sure nothing gets left out.
So following that A to Z pattern, the psalmist just builds this incredibly compelling case. And God's works aren't described in some vague way. No, they're given these really specific, tangible qualities. They're glorious, they're compassionate, they're eternally true. This isn't just about emotion, it's a foundation built on evidence.
And it all wraps up with this powerful conclusion. Real wisdom, true understanding, starts with a deep reverence for God. And that idea, it's the perfect handoff to the very next psalm.
So let's jump right into Psalm 112 and see how this thing builds. Because if Psalm 111 was all about God's character, this one acts like a mirror. It describes the kind of person who is shaped by that character, the one who actually lives by that wisdom. Right away, you see the connection. It shows that the fear of the Lord we just talked about isn't some passive feeling. It's an active delight that leads directly to a blessed and stable life.
Now just look at the stark contrast the psalm draws between these two paths. The language is so powerful. On one side, the righteous person's heart is fixed, established. There's the sense of permanence. And on the other side, the wicked melt away. Their desires perish. It's an incredible image of lasting stability versus just nothingness.
Okay, so we've gone from God's character to the individual's character. Now, Psalm 113 just blows the doors wide open. It expands the focus way, way out and calls for the entire world to join in one single, massive chorus of praise.
This is one of the most famous lines in the entire book of Psalms, and for good reason. This isn't just a call to worship for a specific group of people in one little corner of the world. No, this is a truly universal invitation. It spans the entire globe in every single moment of the day.
And here's why this call is so universal. The Psalms shows us 2 incredible sides of God's character. On one hand, He is absolutely majestic, high above everything and everyone. But at the same time, He is intimately concerned with lifting up the most vulnerable, the most forgotten people in society. It's this combination that makes Him worthy of everyone's praise.
So after that huge, universal call to praise, Psalm 114 zooms way back in time. It takes us to the single most important event in Israel's history, the Exodus from Egypt. This is the historical bedrock for their praise, the very event celebrated at Passover.
But this is no dry history lesson. It's an absolutely stunning piece of poetry where the natural world itself reacts. It's like all of creation becomes a living character in the story, responding to the presence of its creator.
I mean, the imagery here is just breathtaking. The sea, this huge chaotic force, it doesn't just get parted. The psalmist says it sees God's presence and it flees. The Jordan River is literally driven back. The waters themselves make way for their king.
And it doesn't even stop there. Even the most stable, unmovable things you can imagine, mountains and hills, are described as skipping with life like joyful animals. It's just this incredible picture of all of creation erupting in response to its powerful creator.
So after all that incredible history, this powerful story of deliverance, we land in Psalm 115 at a moment of decision.
After seeing who God is and what he has done, the psalmist lays down a direct challenge. You have to choose where you're going to place your trust. The psalmist sets up one more stark comparison, this time between the living God and lifeless idols. And the contrast could not be more clear. Our God is in the heavens, active, doing whatever he pleases. Their idols? They're just silver and gold, the work of human hands, totally powerless, unable to see or speak or hear a thing. So given that choice, the psalmist issues this repeated, emphatic call to trust. It's not just for one group, it's for everyone, the whole nation, the priests, and all the individual worshipers. The message is simple and clear. Place your trust in the one true helper and protector.
So when you step back and look at the whole thing, you can see how these 5 psalms really do weave together into this beautiful harmony. It all flows so logically, from the reasons for praise, to the righteousness it inspires, to the humility God honors, to the historical proof of his deliverance, and finally, to the ultimate decision to trust.
And that really leaves us with one final thought to chew on. If these ancient poems are painting a true picture of a God who is living, who is powerful, and who is deeply compassionate, then what does it mean for us, right now, to truly trust in him today?